didn't even have it on.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
What have you done this winter?
Not a hell of a lot.
You've been doing something to keep you occupied.
Playing word puzzle games. Search for the word.
Been playing those games on that tablet.
Yeah. It's
Candy Crush.
Candy Crush Saga.
Ha ha ha.
And I found out if I could keep at the lower rates, at the lower levels, I can play longer and not lose my life.
Ah. So you don't start at the top and work down. You start at the bottom and you keep it going.
I just stay on on 2 or 3, and then
Smart guy.
I made it up to 41,000 on one of them.
You kidding me? I have no idea what a high score is, but that sounds high.
You had like 29,000 or something.
I didn't play that long.
It's been a long time ago.
Okay.
No, sometimes I can get up there, and sometimes you didn't hit your level or something like that. But,
Yeah. Oh, I get that on stuff that I play on. So.
but it depends on if you get any them ones that blow up or whatever. You know,
Oh, okay.
the ones that you're supposed to match if you get a special one. But
Yeah, and otherwise it blows up on you.
yeah, because otherwise, I can have scores of 4,000 or 5,000, and it says I hit my level. So it depends on which one of them balls or those.
Well, you can go on to the next level, right?
I can, yeah. But I don't want it. I just stay on 3.
I didn't know they gave that choice.
Yeah. I just say retry all the time. It says retry or next level. I just push retry.
You don't want to get the harder levels.
Yeah.
Now that's an option I didn't know existed.
Yeah. I'll have to show you.
Okay. Oh, don't you love this guy?
You get them harder ones, and they put these things in there where you can't go on the rows, and it makes it harder.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Okay, say good night.
Good night. Have a good night, folks.
Hello, everybody. It's Glenda with Shaking Hands Art with Fralins and my friends out there, which you all are. Today, starting a new project. I am so happy with all of the good comments and the likes and all of that on my world's ocean creatures. Or now I am going to fulfill another request, but it won't be finished today, for a peacock. And I'm going to take my time with this one. This whole area here and on down, that's the peacock. And with all of their little plumage, now with these stretch canvases, I tried to go over the sides and catch these little areas too, because it makes, I don't know, with these I'm beginning to really like the frameless look. And that's what these things kind of are. I mean, they can be framed, but the frame would be completely different. You can see how that kind of makes a continuous. I thought that white was all dry, but I guess not. Well, it didn't bother the green any. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a stiffer brush, and I'm going to kind of get it in a different color, green, a little darker. And you can probably hear those strokes there, because what I'm doing is I'm trying to get it to look like grass, but I'm also getting the depth with another color there, just kind of worked in. So it does end up looking a little more grassy than it does just a bunch of green. For some interest here, peacocks are normally Their normal habitat is like in forested areas where there's a lot of trees. They will nest on the ground, but they roost in the trees, which is seems kind of backward to me, but hey, it's their world and they know what they're doing. Their chicks are born kind of a yellowish and with maybe some brown. They don't get those brilliant colors until they're more toward their adult age. And the female will come up to the male, and I guess at kind of a 90-degree angle. I guess she's kind of looking him over like we do each other. Anyway, and then she will just kind of stand there, and the peacock, the male, will put out his plumage and fan it way out there so that she can, and he'll kind of turn around and let her see it, all of his glory there. And if she chooses him, if she thinks he's okay, then they mate. They're not known for lifelong commitments to each other. They, what I read said polygamous, and I thought, no, wait a minute, that sounds a little too human. Well, because that talks about more than one wife or whatever. But with animals, well, it's like chickens. One rooster will take care of a whole hen house. So, but yeah, and they do okay in captivity, or, well, let's put it this way. They do okay domestic. But generally it's best to let them kind of roam at least a good part of the day. And their diet is kind of omnivorous. They will eat both plant and animal. In other words, they'll eat insects and they'll eat grain. They'll eat either one. And they do need the protein. So, I'm trying to think of some. There were so many good, funny things, but, a funny story. Oh, well, do I have one? Do I have one? My grandparents, when they were on the farm, they had some peacocks. They bought them from we called them neighbors. They lived across the other side of the river. And anyway, but they had bought some peacocks from them. And of course they had their own. I don't know if you've ever heard of peacock, but they can honk much louder and more irritating than any goose I've ever met. And they had a song going back and forth across that river. But they liked their peacocks, so they kept them. But at least as long as they can handle it. But I think it's better to keep them a little separated. I'm going to do this part. I'll put the legs on after bed. Okay. Peafowl, which includes both the peacock and the peahen. They are native to India and Sri Lanka. They're the national bird of India. They generally like to be in lightly forested areas where there's like a river or a stream, some kind of water. They will scratch at the ground to find insects and even some seeds. They like both. Their diet is both plant and animal or insect. And they were I guess they were moved to by the Phoenicians down toward what is now present-day Egypt and Syria. But they're in all other places too. I told you the story about my grandparents, and the neighbors across the river, and there. That is, you had to be there. That was, but they are very loud birds. Right now, I just want to talk about the colors of these birds. They are so beautiful and iridescent. The head, which I am working on now, it's that and the neck. There, it's a very bold and bright blue, and the eye. Well, it's surrounded in the head there around the eye and stuff by a black and white, and it's just really so impressive. If you've ever seen these birds up close, which hopefully you have, then you've witnessed this coloring. They get that coloring as they grow into adulthood. Because I think I mentioned that the chicks are just kind of a dull yellow and some browns and stuff. Now this plumage does go the same color of bright blue, goes down into their front like you're seeing there. We ain't done yet. Okay, but I'm gonna try. It looks like I'm squaring him off. I'm not. I'm trying to get him to where there. Yeah, I'm just getting his legs, the top of the legs, kind of like the drumstick. Well, that's what I was doing. There it goes. And then from there on, the legs are kind of white and very thin. What is it with big birds and thin legs? So I'm going to put these little sticks here. I'm not getting as far as the feet. This is a large bird, especially when you get all that plumage out. And that's the most interesting part of the picture, is that plumage. So, of course, I'm going to concentrate on it. But the legs do seem to be pretty thin for the size of the bird. Okay, now, they don't just start out with the plumage. They have from what I've seen, the ones I've seen, they have a big green kind of a arch of feathers that are right behind the body and the head. Now, when it's not up, when it's not out and fanned, it is behind them. It follows them, and it's called a train. The green that I've chosen here, unless it looks a lot different, I may have to go a little lighter on that green, and I will probably do that by tomorrow. Alrighty, this green, I think it might be a little too dark, so I think I'll be going back over that and taking that down just a shade or two. Lighten a little bit so that you can tell the difference between the bird's body and head and that plumage back there. Well, it is feathers. I call it plumage, but it is. I mean, it is feathers. We'll come back tomorrow and start that plumage. I'm going to take my time with it, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I get it done. I will see you tomorrow. I love all of you. Smile and wave and share that. The reason I tell you that, because I know a lot of you are new, the reason I do that is because we need friendliness today. And the smile is friendly. The wave is acknowledging. And some days that might be all that someone has to hold on to, is that little smile and wave you give to them. And if nothing else, it makes you feel good. So we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire.